Hey everyone, welcome to the next session of the Free League Showcase. Very excited. This is a very highly anticipated session, and we've got the one and only Francesco, the main designer, the designer behind the One Ring RPG, with us. Thank you so much for giving your time to come on and answer questions about this exciting release from Free League Publishing that's coming up. Hopefully sooner, more than later, but we'll hear about that a little bit later. Thank you for giving your time.
Thank you for calling me and giving me this space to talk about the One Ring. One thing I'd really like to do.
And joining me as a co-host is the one and only Andreas. You know him from he's the soundtrack artist behind the soundtrack for Bitter Reach, for Forbidden Lands, Vaesen, and you've also got an upcoming podcast centered around the One Ring RPG called Riddles in the Dark.
Yeah, in about a month, maybe two.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you guys for giving your time coming on. We're going to take some questions. We're going to just talk about the One Ring and everything that there is. Do we want to start off with some questions, or do you have a question, Andreas?
I would guess I spent a lot of time on the Discord and on the Facebook pages of the One Ring community, and I know that the one of the main questions from the community from many people is about the difference between the second edition and the first edition. How much of a conversion will there be for old characters, for old supplements and stuff like that? Will it blend in very smoothly with what's available in the shelves already, or?
Yes, as all fans who've been following the game know, it's been a couple of difficult years for the One Ring. I mean, since the beginning of 2019, so it's been a long time, and we spent a long time developing the game, first for the previous publisher edition and then for the Free League edition. The concept has been always to be fully compatible with what existed before, and that remained the concept. What I think changed a little bit from the previous iteration of the rules and what we're doing now is that I personally embraced the philosophy of a company like Free League, and that's producing rule sets that are really elegant and blend well with the game world. Well, the One Ring has always been hailed as a game that blends well with a theme.
For sure.
Yeah, but first edition maybe had a few hiccups here and there as far as mechanics go. Journey rules, for example, were considered too fiddly, requiring too many die rolls and stuff like that. So by giving our second look to the design, we took the chance to polish it more. So the idea was to keep it as smooth as possible with packing as much theme as before. Now, since the question was really how it has changed, I can say that from a superficial glance, it might seem that a lot changed, because we lost a few things that people were familiar with. For example, favored attributes. It was a thing in first edition that isn't the case anymore. But people that like to see and break down the mechanics of a game will see that what we changed in there makes for a big of a difference from the point of view of making the game easier, but from the point of view of what was needed from those mechanics is still there. So we simplified stuff that allowed for simplification. So we didn't throw anything out that was actually useful. So we smoothed stuff that you will be happy to see was smoothed out. So journeys are a little different. You will have to work a little bit to adapt your characters from first edition to the new one, but it's not at all like, it's not anything like, changing from D&D one edition and the one following. where everything is basically different apart from rolling a d20. So you can keep your the One Ring dice.
So the skills are there, the D6 dice pools with the D12 feat die is still there.
Everything is there. Everything is exactly the same. We changed a couple of things in there, like the way favored skills work, for example, have been streamlined, and it's, we had a number of good mechanics there that were a little overcomplicated or were not used to their maximum extent. And I think we were able to, polish it and take away everything that wasn't needed there and make them really shine. So I think the game is easier keeping absolutely the same flavor. So the concepts are there, and
I mean, if there would have been, if you wouldn't have to convert anything, then it wouldn't be a new edition, of course. I mean, some changes will be there, of course. That's.
Yeah, you will see that for example, some virtues, the special abilities of the characters have been tweaked to accommodate for the new edition of the rules and stuff like that. And it's not that, for example, we're not introducing a magic system in the game. We don't have magic users, so you don't have spells or mana or whatever. I mean, all the mechanics are there. If you know about the game and you know that there's hope and endurance and favored rolls and skill rolls, and everything is still the same, simply handled in a slightly different way. Not in every case, just in some of the rules.
Because in some games, when there's a new edition, you simply find yourself, I'm just going to make my character from scratch with the new rules instead of converting them. It sounds like you will be able to keep your character and just convert some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Also, one of the things that might be an inconvenience in the beginning for old hands playing the One Ring is that since we are adopting the same focus that we had in first edition, and we are looking at a very specific region in Middle Earth. First edition had Rovanion, so Wilderland, and it focused on 6 cultures from the area. In the same way, we moved west to Eriador, so the game is set in the area that is most familiar to readers of the Lord of the Rings, because there is the Shire and the ruins of Arnor and Rivendell and stuff like that. So on the left side of the Misty Mountains rather than on the right side. So the inconvenience could be that, for example, if you have a woodman character or a Bjorning, the culture is not featured in the new core, because it's focused on 6 cultures, so Bjornings and Woodmen are not in the mix. So what we will do is to provide as soon as possible to fans the conversions of those of the abilities for those characters, so you will be able to continue play them with a new edition right away, eventually featuring them in a new companion book that will have everything that was in the core.
Okay, so they won't be in the new core rulebook, the conversions, but you will try and get them as soon as possible, and then there will be some kind of adventurous companion-ish supplement.
Exactly.
Okay. I don't think people can ask for more.
Yeah, I think we're trying as much as we can to accommodate for the requests of the fans without betraying what we feel is the right approach to the game world. That we tried before a more encyclopedic approach, the idea of getting everything that could be fit into a core book, all the different cultures and stuff like that, but that really ruined the spirit of the game, because even of course, the player can say, "Oh, you should trust us, and you give us the rules, and we do, and we will be faithful to the sources." And of course, there will be people that can do that. But the unity of affect of a game needs to be coherent. You cannot, if you provide players with a sort of an encyclopedia of different cultures that have nothing to do one with the other. They are in different geographical areas. The theme is different. If you do that, people won't. Will find it difficult to actually respect the tone of the books and everything. So, but in time, we get there, and especially we will try to do that as fast as possible, even before publication. So to make available the conversions for the existing character types before the book is out.
Nice.
Do we have a question from the chat yet?
There's quite a few questions. One question is, will we see more John Hodgson's art?
John has been, one of the main staples of the previous edition of the game, and he was also, as an art director for the game, was very much responsible for the look and feel of the game, because we were very much on the same page. So it was a nice connection of intent between the two of us working on the game. So, but there was a but coming. This is a new edition, and when we started working on it, there were several things that we needed to address to mark the difference from the previous edition. And in one way or another, John Hodgson's art was very much connected to what the One Ring was before in the previous edition. So we had reasons to make it fresher, to change direction. Also, there were personal reasons that we won't necessarily delve into, but nothing between me and John. John seemed intention to move on, but never say never. There might be possibilities in the future. What I can say that you will probably see more John Hodgson in the future, for sure, not necessarily in the role of illustrator.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
You probably you had the chance to see his quality as a designer, as a writer, with the adventure, The Eves of Mirkwood, that was in the screen for Adventures in Middle-earth, and possibly with his new game, Beowulf, the 5e.
Yeah, I backed that.
Yep.
Amazing
Yeah,
game.
Yeah.
Very
so,
cool.
Yeah. We'll
a follow-up on that, Francesco, because we had a question also about, we know Alvaro Tapia will do some artwork. A huge Free League favorite illustrator of mine is Martin Greep. And we also got some questions for fans about this. Will he be involved in any way also? Or will it just be Alvaro?
Yeah, as whoever read the newsletters about the game know that Alvaro Tapia is involved for all the black and white illustrations for the game, and he's in some ways also basically working as a concept designer for the look of the new edition, so the way that the different cultures will look. And this is very much a work in progress that I'm super eager to see how it goes, as everyone there. And I'm seeing, of course, some stuff, but I'll see more in the very near future. And yes, the good thing is that, of course, the game will have color plates, so we'll have color pieces in there, and it's a fairly new item that Martin Grip is involved and is sharpening his Tolkien skills to get involved. So we will have this very good duo, Martin Grip plus Alvaro Tapia.
I feel that's a perfect combination.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Did you have another? There's quite a few of the same questions in the chat. Did you? I think most of the you had another Discord question. I think.
Well, several, but one is just to touch on something that you mentioned, that John might be involved in some other way, like the team. Who are they? What are the writers are there in the team, and what's going to be?
Well, there are a few old names. Apart from the core material that I'm working with my co-designer, always Marco Maggi, and also added in the mix our valiant developer Michele Garbuggio, who's worked also on our Lex Arcana role-playing game. And we have people like Gareth Hanran, who's writing something people seems to be expecting since a while, the supplement called Moria. And and we have James Michael Span, the designer of several games, and also has worked on the One Ring before, and he's our local hobbit from the US, and he's doing the Shire for our starter set. So he's writing the source book for the Shire, a place that we finally never went to exactly. Precisely before with the previous edition, and adventures for the starter set. That is going to be an interesting take, because it's basically at least on the surface, it will seem like a only Hobbit type of adventure game, but it won't be that. It's a starter set, so it's something that will bring you step by step into the world of Tolkien.
Did you manage to drop a huge bomb in there somewhere in the middle? Did you mention Moria? Their work is still ongoing with that? Did I hear you right there?
The one world. Yeah, Moria. Moria was lost and it's been reclaimed. Now, we are definitely doing. Moria is in development again, and this time will be brought to the finish line. And Gareth Hanran is working on it, and it's a bit of a complicated story to go into. And simply just be sure that we made everything that was possible to bring this supplement to the fans, and yes, we are going there. So,
Stephen asks, will there be any official support for Roll20 Fantasy Grounds or any other virtual platform?
That's an interesting question. I don't have an answer, because that's more of a technical issue. There might be problems being the game being based on the Tolkien property. Middle-earth Enterprises, the company giving the license for the game to Sophisticated Games, has always kept the electronic rights separate. And unfortunately, everything that is electronic, including PDFs, is touched by that. Luckily, PDFs have been freed from constraints previously, so we will have PDF for the supplements. But electronic, to play through electronic media like Roll20 and stuff like that, should be possible, because we've done it with Adventures in Middle-earth in Italy, for example, with the Need games. So I think as long as it's not like a commercial project or something, should be able to do it. But I don't have a 100% sure answer on that.
That's fine. Let's see here. Orcblast asks, will Forces of Evil be playable perhaps in a small supplement or one-shot style of adventure? If not, how about a way to stat orcish evil NPCs and villains?
Well, that's another tricky thing, because some of the things that we cannot do with the Tolkien property is to twist the themes and the message inside the stories, and to make a game about the bad guys, just to simplify, could be a complication. Just to tell you that we have there a sort of a project in the drawer that we might bring out at some point. As we have the One Ring as the game on the Lord of the Rings, the good guys. It was nice to fancy about the Lidless Eye companion game that allowed you to play the bad guys, and we will try to be persuasive with the licensor, because I think that Tolkien was sympathetic sometimes towards the bad guys. If you think about the Uruk-hai chapters, where they're presented very much like World War First grunts, trying to get their mission done, Ugluk and all the other guys. So I think there might be room for that. We have a few concepts that we will, but that's very much in the future. We need to do more stuff before that, before going to.
Speaking about the future, apart from the core rulebook, what other supplements are in progress? Is there anything else you're working on, or you're just focusing on the core rulebook, and what comes next we'll just have to see? Or
we have a lineup of things. So we have the core that also, to give just a little bit more information than what have been given before. Again, the core is focused in Eredor. So it is particularly set around the area of the Breland and Old Arnor. So a sort of more of an exploration vibe. So going back to the roots of adventuring in role-playing games with the theme. Then the starter set goes to the Shire with hobbits and more urban type of adventures with possibly a less epic mood, but a more lively type of things. So less moody, probably more fun. Then we will have content also for the Lore Master screen that will, like in the way that the original Lore Master screen at Lake Town detailed in there, we will have more information on Rivendell and the Grey Heavens. So we're looking at the Elven sanctuaries of Eriador in the Lore Master screen. And since we are focusing possibly on Northern Eriador with the core, we are also developing a supplement plus adventures that is set around the ruins of the city of Tarbad that was deserted just a few decades before the official date for the game. So again, we're still technically in Eriador, but we're looking at the south part where there's much to explore also because we never went there with the previous edition. So it's new stuff. And then after that, as soon as we have compiled more things to go in there, we will have this, what we're calling for the moment just a companion that will bring up to date all the cultures that are not fitting in the core. So that's for the moment, of course. And Moria is being developed already since quite some time. So will be ongoing all the time.
Ian Kirby asks, will the Shire material only be available in the starter set?
Well, it's interesting because, of course, we will have information on the Shire also in the core, but in some ways summarized. What's in the starter set is going to be more detailed than what will be in the core. We're trying to do the starter set to be as useful as we can, also for players that are not interested in an introduction to the game. So there are going to be 2 maps, if I'm not mistaken, right now on the large maps. I don't know if you know exactly what large means in Fria Ligan's words. Large maps are huge. So the starters will have big maps. And also maps will be done by Francesco Nepitello, is the artist that also many Swedish fans will know for the Lone Wolf maps.
Exactly.
And the city maps that were done for Askfagen is the company, I think.
Yes.
Okay, so he's doing that. I've been wanting to work with him on maps since ages because I find his stuff brilliant.
So beautiful. That's so beautiful.
I dream of a Minas Tirith map done by him. We'll tie him to a chair for a couple of years to do it. So there will be a little more on the Shire in the starter set. Yes, okay. Because it will be more aimed to play those adventures that are there, so more in a Hobbit style rather than what is the main theme in the core. But again, I think we will have enough material in there to make it worth considering the buying the starter set if you're not too interested in hobbits.
Sure. Girly Droid asks, will the published material on Gondor ever see publication? Or
I can't say much about that. Okay. Unfortunately, it's a matter that it does not depend on me. Just you can just know that we did what we could. But even if that's something that also needs to be addressed. I mean, several times you hear about supplements that were already done for a game or another. Sometimes that's not exactly what you mean with ready. Maybe there was a draft or an early draft or something. So we will eventually go to Gondor sooner or later. But we felt also, sorry, just to add one thing, we felt that Gondor was too complicated as a setting for a core book.
Sure.
There's so much going on, point of view of politics and everything.
Yeah.
We felt Eriador was much more suited for a core book.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I know we're talking about the One Ring here, but I also know that the Adventures in Middle-earth fans are desperate for any kind of confirmation that there will be a future for Adventures in Middle-earth, the 5e iteration of the One Ring. Is there anything we can throw them at all, or will they?
Yeah. Yes. The answer is a solid yes. I mean, Free League is fully intends to continue the One Ring and Adventures Middle-earth. It's probably, as you know, that Adventures Middle-earth always followed the One Ring from publication, because we continue with the philosophy that material will be developed for the One Ring first and adapted to Adventures Middle-earth second. And so we'll need to kickstart in the sense of starting again the One Ring before we go into Adventures Middle-earth territory. But absolutely, we will go there.
And there will be no conversion needed there, basically, or ish.
Well, it's going to be a revised anyway.
Yeah.
Because there were a few things that we think needed addressing, a few unbalancing things in the classes, stuff like that. But I can't say much about that now, but it's going to be probably sooner than you expect that you will see something about Middle-earth.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. You mentioned the word kickstart there. Will the One Ring will not be a Kickstarter project? Will it just be for pre-order like Alien, or will there be a Kickstarter?
I don't know. That's something for Fria Ligan to consider. Actually, it was something that Sophisticated Games considered before. It might be, but normally, judging from what Fria Ligan did with another important property like Alien, it might not be the case.
Yeah, I know that Alien, that whole pre-order was very, very successful for them. So,
for sure.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they don't. We don't have any official confirmation one way or the other, but it wouldn't surprise me if they just put it up for pre-order, because that was, I think with the One Ring, as much as people love the game, I think it doesn't really need the Kickstarter hype, I guess, is probably what that's kind of what Kickstarter is used now for. Do you have any other? We're kind of running up on time. Do you have any other Discord questions that you had before we kind of close out here?
I had one about maybe because in the first iteration, the first edition of the game, there was a lot of rules added in the Rivendell supplement, for instance, with magical treasure and eye awareness and stuff like that. Will you try and keep all that in one core rulebook now, or will the supplements provide new rules all the time? Or
the magical treasure rules are in because there was some sort of a small disconnection between the way treasure was presented in the core rules and then how they became with magical treasure rules. So we're combining the two things to make for a seamless system. And so yes, they will be connected. The eye awareness rules, they won't be part of the core.
I think it was more of a general question, like, will you try and keep like all of the rules in the core rulebook, or will the supplements provide additional rules as well, like an additional feature, additional rules?
Well, I can make you an example. For example, the rules for riding in combat that were introduced in the Rohan supplements. So,
for instance,
won't be there because they felt really out of place for the moment with the cultures that are in the core. But again, all those, something I've seen in the comments, all the existing material, so all the books you have for the One Ring are perfectly usable with the new game. So especially, that a lot of the supplements had a lot of information about places and stuff. There wasn't much of as far as crunch was concerned. Apart from those additional rules in the Companion or in Rivendell. So we're porting already all the main ones. As far as the rest is concerned, everything is perfectly usable. You will have probably to adapt a couple of things on the way creatures are presented, for example, but it's not going to be a big issue. And especially we're not changing what was the lore for first edition. So of course, we invented quite a few things in the One Ring that were not found in the sources. So in the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, especially in supplements like the Heart of the Wild, we are not denying the existence of that material. It's something that you can keep on using, and it's not going to conflict with anything we have in the new books. Supplements, we shouldn't use books. No, sorry, it's an in-joke because it's something that, due to licensing reasons, we cannot use the word book in print.
Oh,
our books are game manuals and supplements, but they're not books.
Interesting.
Really?
Interesting to know. I would have never known that. Well, we are we've gone over our 30 minutes. Is there any, Andres? Is there any other question that you were dying to ask before we sign off?
1 in 100. Perhaps,
1 in 100.
probably.
Okay.
1 in 100. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to have Francesco back on to answer some more questions and chat a little bit more. But do you have one more? Let's just throw one more out real quick, and then we'll call it a session.
If I have anything else to add?
Yeah, or even right. Yeah.
No. It's well, let's say that maybe Thomas was asked when all this is going to happen.
Right.
Well, I can tell you that the good thing about the new company, the new publisher, is the fact that they're not setting a specific date that is a do or die deadline that we need to meet. We're trying to simply do the game the best way we can. And now we're finalizing the text as we are developing the illustrations and everything else. So everything will progress at the same time. I think that Thomas said that it won't be a 2020 publication, and I'm fairly sure it won't. But it's going to be early next year. So
nice, excellent. That's going to please a lot of folks. I know that they're very excited to get this in their hands and on their tables. So,
well, many fans will probably have the chance to see more before that, because if you subscribe to the newsletter, we will probably also ask for some open play testers before the time that we go to print. So if you're interested and you want to see exactly what the changes are about and stuff like that, you can enlist and give us a hand
Sure.
in polishing everything.
Where should folks go if they want to sign up for that?
There should be on the free. I don't know exactly where you get the enlisting in the
Free forum, no?
Oh, probably.
For sure in the forums. I go there sometimes also as much as I can to and check what the fans are talking about. So usually, yeah, it's probably there the best place to get any information, and also any announcement about playtesting.
Excellent. Well, that is going to do it for our session. I want to thank you both for coming on and helping and being a part of this session. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. If you enjoyed this session, please hit that like button down below, and we'll have to have you both on a future session once we're not under such time constraints, pumping out Free League Showcase content all weekend. But thank you again. Thank you for all the hard work that you put in to this game, and yeah. We'll,
I can say just one last thing, Doug, is
it.
that because I mentioned Riddles in the Dark, my upcoming podcast. I also have Sweden Rolls, my current podcast, and if you're interested in more Francesco Nepitello, we actually did an interview there, which we had to do a part 2 of because it ran over total of, I think, maybe 3 hours total of raw material. So in Sweden Rolls podcast feed, there's an interview, 2 parts interview with Francesco with a lot of his background as a game designer and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this session. We'll be back with a session here shortly of things from the flood and actual play. Stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be safe and be well.
Stay safe.